The issue of placement for students with disabilities in the general education classroom has two sides to the argument. One side favors the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, or IDEA's levels of placement based on the least restrictive environment for a student with a disability. This statute is already implemented across the country for states that provide special education services. The other side favors full inclusion of all students with disabilities in the general education classroom at all times, which is not currently part of IDEA's statute. My argument is in favor of IDEA's current levels of placement for children with disabilities, which are as follows: the general education classroom, a pull-out resource room, a special education room, or an outside facility that provides highly specialized necessities for children with disabilities. These levels of placement were found on the website understood.org. One reason to agree with IDEA's levels of placement is due to the understanding that special education is meant to be individualized to a student with a disability. While some students may need slight changes to instruction in order to understand the curriculum, others may need intense one-on-one instruction and modifications based on their abilities as a student. As a special educator, it is important to realize that every student is different and unique. Therefore, only allowing one type of placement for a student contradicts the notion of individuality and their special needs. Another reason to favor IDEA's levels of placement can be seen in court cases involving children with disabilities being provided appropriate placements other than the general education classroom. For example, in the court case Creel versus the Newcastle County School District, it was ruled that the initial placement of a student with profound multiple disabilities in a special education classroom was not appropriate due to his tremendous needs that could not be met. A residential facility that could provide structure and resources to the student was found to be more fitting for his needs. The special education classroom was not suitable for this particular student, and therefore inclusion in a general education classroom with even less resources would not be applicable based on this student's unique needs. This case was presented by the authors Bateman, Lloyd, and Tankersley in our textbook on page 221. The last reason to favor IDEA's placement statute can be seen in present statistics. According to the National Center for Education Statistics website, 95% of children with disabilities are placed in a general education classroom. Furthermore, the website also provides graph data that shows a 16% increase in children with disabilities being placed in the general education classroom over a 17-year period. Therefore, the statistics for including students with disabilities are already growing in the general education classroom. It can be deduced by these statistics that the need for a total inclusion statute is unnecessary and would ultimately disregard the 5% of students who need further specialized services in education. Thank you very much for listening to my argument, and I look forward to viewing and discussing other point videos.